Hello, my name is Jacob Crawford, and I'm here to tell you why we should never stop learning and exploring. I'm an industrial designer, which means it is my job to take technology and make it helpful to people and easy to use. Industrial designers like me make the cars look cool, laptops sleek, and chairs comfortable to sit in. As an industrial designer, I am forced to learn new technology as it infiltrates the workplace, in addition to being able to problem solve with clients in order to fabricate what it is they desire. Many times it involves me learning new technology, such as 3D printing, metal fabrication, and even developing a brand or logo for a company that correlates with the product that I'm working to develop. This problem solution environment challenges me every day and requires me to learn something new regularly, in addition to needing a fair amount of mental flexibility, which allows me to see problems from unique perspectives. I am fortunately predisposed to never mentally rest in my field. I will have to adapt or I will become obsolete, be out of a job, be old news. For the most part, in our Western culture, we believe that learning is a means to an end. That end for most people being financial capital. To talk about education, 85% of people graduate high school. Almost 60% attempt college in some way. 40% getting an associate's degree, 30% attaining a bachelor's degree. Of the 30% that attain a bachelor's degree, 11% go for some sort of master's program or professional degree. 2% attaining a doctorate. In our culture, we see a direct correlation between how much schooling we get and how much money we make. But we skip a very important middleman in this interaction. More schooling means more knowledge, which equals more value. I'm not trying to talk about how to make the most money with the best degree. I'm here to talk about self-worth and value. Gaining knowledge should not be viewed as a means to financial capital, but more as a means of personal enrichment, exploration, and growth. Out of Forbes' top 20 happiest careers, 14 of them involve the high aspect of problem solving and creativity from a wide range of salaries. This creativity and mental flexibility allows your mind to adapt and evolve. The least happy people work monotonous jobs in the construction realm, making the same thing over and over again, or having a government job where you put one piece of paper into another file, or just sharpen pencils or something. Aristotle said that satisfaction comes from two things. One, physical movement, being exercise or anything. And two, a constant development of one's life. Maybe that's learning a new skill. Researchers now have finally begun to see the truth in Aristotle's second statement, and have found that people who learn a foreign language or pick up an instrument later in life have greater sense of purpose and personal growth, in addition to having lower cortisol levels, better immune function, and more efficient sleep. This development involves exercising our mind's plasticity, which is the ability the brain has to adapt and learn. People recognize the benefit in exercising the mind's plasticity, such as Lumosity, a San Francisco-based web company. Lumosity's goal is to get users to improve attention, flexibility, and memory through a series of games that challenge problem-solving skills and analytical thinking. People who play Lumosity have seen noticeable increase in short-term memory recognition, as well as other mental functions becoming just a little bit easier. There's no way to judge exactly a person's creativity, but the result of increased information recollection would lend researchers to believe that Lumosity functions as it advertised, a website that makes you smarter. Students who participate in music class show scoring an average of 62 points higher on the SAT, and I had to ask myself, why is this? Teachers believe that this occurs because they have a newfound confidence that other students don't have. And through furthering themselves in musical ways, they feel more confident and less stressful about a looming exam or test. And most high school students participate in music have higher GPAs than those that don't, and less likelihood after high school to abuse alcohol, drugs, or tobacco. A Gallup poll said that 85% of people who didn't play an instrument in their whole life had a sense of regret that they never learned it. Learning a new skill will benefit you. It's that simple, not just in that arena, but in your life as a whole. In addition, students who studied a foreign language in high school saw similar results, increases on tests and post-high school job yields, because learning a foreign language as well increases creativity and mental flexibility and encourages high-level thinking. For instance, students from a lower socioeconomic class who study a language in high school will score on par with their more affluent peers in a high school setting. And in high school, why not learn new things? There's no consequence in trying and failing. And in failing, sometimes the best learning occurs. In high school, I was horrible at Spanish, but I excelled in music, so I continued to explore it, and participating in it was so helpful to me. It also gave me something to do after I got home from class in stressful times, where I'd sit down and play guitar or piano for a few minutes, even if it was just for a few minutes a day. Writing and creating music is something I do frequently, and although I do it as a way to rest and get away from school, it is an exercise of the mind. Taking the skills I have and using them to create, much like I do in the field of industrial design. I find that whenever I take a break doing some music, I come back excited about getting back to work, as well as excited to work on the music at a later date. When people don't have outlets like video games or Lumosity or music like I did, the mind does not have adequate activity in problem-solving way and actually begins to deteriorate. It is commonly known that as we grow older, our minds get smaller after a certain age. The shrinking can cause unwanted health issues, such as depression, Alzheimer's, anxiety. In the medicinal world, therapists recommend patients to exercise their minds in some way, taking a class, learning how to do calligraphy, or sometimes even just playing a video game. Scientists believe that when we learn, our brain releases dopamine, which is a chemical that increases happiness and optimism. Being happy and optimistic unclouds the mind and allows for clear thoughts and solutions to arise. Consider the success of recent tech companies who need creative solutions and innovative thinkers to survive, such as Google or Facebook. Google emphasizes employee happiness and creativity, and that's why they include what some people think is crazy, like a fireman's pole and slides that cause employees to push their comfort zones and to encounter creative solutions to something as simple as going down what would usually be a flight of stairs in a building, now is exciting yet challenging. Facebook, on the other hand, is a little bit more radical, with a place for employees to skateboard on breaks, where they might, learn to do a new trick. Or at Facebook's arcade, which allows employees to explore new platforms of video gaming, or get really, really good at killing zombies. Or even Facebook's provided DJ booth, with turntables that give employees an opportunity to express themselves in a musical way other than behind a computer screen. Now, some people don't like Facebook's emphasis on fun and misinterpret it as lazy and wasteful, or my generation's expression of the office. However, I would argue that providing these luxuries allows employees to stretch themselves in non-work related ways at work, with the hope that in turn, the creativity they worked up in their systems will result in a new idea and forward-thinking solutions to the problems they're encountering at the workplace. My dad worked as a lawyer from the time he was in his mid-20s till he retired about 57. And in his 40s, about the time until he quit, he went on a run during his lunch break, which he said was the best part of his day. He told me how he used to find new areas of the plaza in downtown KC and find new places and see new things, and that his best work always came right after he got back from the run. I used to find this interesting until I looked into the effect that new experiences and learning your new surroundings affect your mind and personal happiness. It all makes so much sense now that he would be stimulated by the changing in the terrain and the adapting he had to do on his daily 10-plus mile runs. I tell you this story because being an attorney is one of Forbes' most unhappy jobs, and somehow my own dad found a way to be happy doing it. He found a way to flex his mind and stay curious about the world he lived in. Your outlook on life and everything you do is dependent on your happiness and your self-worth. If you want to grow old and useless, then be my guest. But if you want to grow old and skillful, then consider picking up that instrument you think you're too old for. Take a German class, take a weaving class, take a drawing class, or take a calligraphy class for fun. But not just for fun, because it's not a waste of time. It exercises your mind, and you'll be proud of yourself for taking on something you didn't think you could do. Boom.